Hello, I am Otto, and welcome to episode 1 of my Factorio 2.0 guide. I do have an episode 0 and 0.5. Those episodes were so that we could go through like what is my experience in this game like, what seed are we using. In episode 0.5, I went over some of the basics. If you are a brand new player and have never played the tutorial, that's okay. You can get a little bit of the basics and concepts from episode 0.5. We also adjusted some settings, went over some of the settings. So let's get into it. So we're gonna go to free play next. The seed that we're using, oh, it's already here because I already put it in. So 97967832 So we're gonna be bumping up the size of especially the coal and the stone. We're definitely going to need those up, but I went ahead and bumped up the copper and the iron. For terrain, we are using lakes elevation. We are increasing the, let me bring the preview on. We are increasing the water to scale 300%, and we are increasing the water coverage to 150%. That's going to make the bodies of water much larger, and yeah, give us some extra kind of blockades to prevent, just makes it so we don't have to worry about biters, really. A little cheaty, but that's okay. Enemies, since this is a first playthrough, we are disabling enemy expansion, and we are turning the starting area size up to 200%. That is so we can get rid of a couple of these biter nests. You'll see some of them disappear here. One disappeared up here, 2 down here. So these are the settings that we're using, and let's jump into it. So the purpose of playing Factorio is to kind of like start small and work your way up. You eventually, after you've crash landed on this planet, you eventually want to get off the planet because there's biters trying to kill you. So our goal is to launch a rocket and get, yeah, it all says it all here. Welcome to Factorio Free Play. Your task is to launch a rocket into space. You will need to research advanced technologies in order to unlock the rocket silo. Start small and work your way up with automation. Protect yourself from the native species, the biters, as they might not appreciate your presence. Yes, we are going to be irritating the biters. So a couple things first. We are enabling alt mode. That allows us to see what's going on inside machines and inside boxes and combinators. I'm also gonna open my inventory and change my color. I always use the same setting for my color. And we're gonna right click to remove this. This is gonna give us 8 extra ammo. We have 2, now we have 10. And we're just gonna remove some of these. I forgot to delete my blueprints, no! Okay, so one of the things that I did mention in the episode 0.5 was that we are largely not using any blueprints. We are doing everything from scratch, everything by hand. The one exception for that is I will be placing kind of an alignment blueprint. Let me just delete some of these real quick. Sorry. These are things that we will be creating in the future. I apologize. No. Delete. I was hoping that those would not be visible, but whatever. We also mentioned the belt balancer book. So this is one thing that I do recommend that you use. And let's see, blueprints. I'm going to start with this. This is just going to, like I said, help me line things up. Okay, so at first we don't have access to any automation. So what our goal is, let me back up. So every single episode, I'm gonna have plain goals set out. I will describe what we did in the last episode, and I will describe what our goals are for this episode. So in this particular episode, we are just trying to get some research. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to craft 50 iron plates. That is going to unlock some of the technologies for us. Let me just show that off after I destroy this rock. So I'm right clicking all of these to quote unquote mine them. We are going to need some wood. We're going to need some stone. Some of these, as you can see on the right hand side, have coal and stone. That's going to give us a little bit of a boost. Something else that I didn't mention in the 0.5 was one of the settings that I enjoy using here in interface. Well, you don't have to do this if you don't want to. I'm gonna increase the active quick bars to 4. That's gonna give us an extra 2 bars down here at the bottom. The downside of this is it kind of blocks our vision a little bit, and that becomes very apparent when you're attacking biters and they are to your south. So we are gonna cut down some more trees. We need the wood. We will need the wood for power poles. We will need the wood. You can use it for fuel as well. You can see that I have a couple of ghosts set up for my blueprint. That's just to make sure that I get things lined up. Okay, so our first goal is to craft 50 iron plates. Then we will automatically get some of this stuff. This is for electricity. And this one is actually also largely for electricity, but we get access to the electric poles, which give us... Anyways, we'll get into all that. So anytime you have a ghost like this, or if you are hovering over, you can hit Q, which is your pipette tool. We're going to rotate this to make sure that it gets in the same direction. We start off with one of these, and we start off with a smelter. And I'm going to be adding a couple of things to the bar. So first thing is these things have no power, so let's open them up. We're going to take coal and put it in. Now this is mining, as you can see, iron ore. And then it is going to place that iron ore into whatever, because of this arrow, whatever is in front of it. So it is now collecting iron ore. We're going to right click and put some coal into this one. You don't have to open it up every time. You can also hit Z or Z, depending on which country you're in. So you can see in the bottom right, we have 6 fuel. We're going to jump that up to 10. And we have made our first 5 iron plate. The other 5 we got from somewhere else. So we need to make more of the drills. So we can hit E to open up our inventory and go over here to the production, the crafting, and we're gonna go to production, and we're gonna left click on the burner miner. We will be collecting a lot of stone, and throughout all the first parts of the playthrough, especially leading up to episode let's say 5 and 6 ish, all of our stone furnaces, or all of our stone, will be used to make stone furnaces. I'm just gonna shift left click this, and you can see that they are being crafted in the right. We will never have enough stone furnaces early on in the game. I'm gonna get some coal and hit Z and put around 10 in that one. I am collecting iron from these by holding control and left clicking. So what that does is it takes out anything that is being produced inside the machine and puts it in your inventory without taking any of the base ingredients. So we need some more of these. We're gonna make at least 2 more. Every time we craft something, it will craft everything that comes before that if available. So we did need some. What do we need to make that? You scroll over it, we can see stone furnace, which we're gonna have a lot of. 3 iron plates and 3 iron gear wheels. We just call them gears. So we can make the gears over here by using 2 iron plate. 2 iron plates makes 1 gear. But if we had the ingredients, then this would just be able to be crafted, assuming that we can handcraft these. So let's get some more of these. We're gonna get maybe 10. So if I just ghost down 1 more. I'm gonna control C. That's the copy. That would be 10. We're gonna fill this up, and I'm gonna do the same thing with ghosts here. And you can just place over ghosts anytime you want. So let's give these some coal. And we will have some more copper. Do we have enough to make 2 more? We do. So if you left click, you make 1. And if you right click, you make 5 at a time. So there's some pros and cons to this. If you left click all 5, it will make the gears, then the burner miner, then the gears, then the burner miner. If you right click, it'll make all of the gears first before it makes a single burner miner. that's okay for now. We're gonna go around and mine a couple of stones. We want the stone out of the stones, and we want the coal that the bigger stones, like this one here, have in them, because it's just gonna give us a little bit of a boost for having fuel for our furnaces and burner miners. I'm gonna get rid of all these stones. We will eventually have to move these anyways, so, you know, this is gonna happen. And one of these, I think the one on the right is a bigger one. And you can see the expected resources on the right, and that's how we're identifying them. Oh, there. So this one has, yes, both coal and stone. So we're just gonna grab a couple more. Let's skip that one. Do I have any more bigger ones in the area? It doesn't look like it. All right, I'm not too worried about it. We will eventually come back to these. And any of the stone that we have, we can just left click, right click, shift click. Doesn't matter, we're making all of them into stone furnaces. But we have 5 of these now, so we need to make coal. So you could have coal, and let's say that we make some wooden chests. And you could take a wooden chest and put it here and collect the coal as it populates the chest. As you can see, it is dumping coal into the chest. Or something else we could do is take another one of these and face them towards each other, and they will start feeding each other. So I didn't give this one any fuel, and these now both have fuel. And even though I did say that whatever they are producing, we can control click out of, these, like this one is placing up to 50 coal into this one is placing up to 50 coal into this one. We can control left click and remove the coal from those, so that is extremely helpful. So we should probably do more than just the 2. Let's do 4. And they do need a jump start, so I'm gonna Z and put 1 into each of them. We've got one more. Let's get another iron down and give it some coal. And we're gonna collect all of these with control left click. We have 180 plates now. Man, we have a lot. So we need at least 5 more. We're gonna need more for coal. We're gonna need some for copper. We will start with 3 for copper and eventually get to 5. But for now, we're gonna change the way these are set up. So another thing that you can do is you can take them and make a little like train network, kind of like this, so that they are feeding into each other. I'm gonna shift and hit R while I'm scrolling over this to turn it that way. This one doesn't matter, we're gonna RR. So now they are all facing each other, and we need to make sure that they are all here and that all of the arrows are facing into each other. So they will just continuously feed into each other in a loop, and we will just occasionally come by and control click all the copper away. They will sometimes run out, but you can just Z and put one more back if you want. So we need to get the furnaces on our bar. Let's get that there. And we're gonna go ahead and set up those, and we're gonna go ahead and set up these. So these are all the stone furnaces that we will start with. Oh, this guy needs some more fuel. Let's get him back up to 10, get this one up to 10. Sure. We'll get these guys up there too. And we need more coal, so we can just control, grab all of this. And what else do we have? Okay, we're just gonna place 3 of these for now, and we're gonna Z and get some coal into these guys so they can start producing copper plates for us. The next thing that we're gonna learn is the electronics, which will give, we need 10 copper plates to be crafted, and then we can start making some power related stuff. We're gonna be using all of our iron for now to continue making burner miners. Ooh, that might be too many. So I need at least 5 and 2 more here. And 1, 2, so we need 10 total here. We're gonna do 10 total over here for the coal. We're gonna do eventually 5 for the copper, and we're gonna do 4 for stone. Unfortunately, the stone is pretty far away, but this is one of those cases where we're just gonna place it up here. We're gonna set it and forget it. So let me get rid of this tree. So this is our dinky little coal patch. I'm just gonna queue over and pipette, and we are going to have these guys all rotate into a wooden box. So we're gonna, I'm just gonna, you don't have to do just Z, which places 1. You can also hold control and right click, and that will put in half a stack or half of whatever you're holding. So that'll give these guys enough fuel to last quite a bit of time, and then we can just come over and collect the stone as needed and make more stone furnaces. Even though we have 34, we will definitely need more. So we definitely, okay, we gotta get these 5 down, and then we will give them coal. We'll start with 1, but we need to go get some more coal. And that's the whole early game. Early game, we are just collecting stuff. We are hand feeding into a lot of these. We need some copper. We need more iron. So how many of these did we have? So we have 4. I think I made too many. All right, that's fine. And let's get these guys beefed up a bit. We kind of want them around, 20. No, definitely not 20. Okay, this one down here needs some more. So let's ZZZ, and let's just collect this. Okay, so we are now going to be producing more materials, and we are going to be collecting those materials. So the first thing that we need to make is an offshore pump. Why do we need to make an offshore pump? So the offshore pump will give us water, and we are going to use water. So we're going to make 1, left click, 1 of these. And the offshore pump will give us water that we can then feed into the boiler. The boiler will accept fuel and turn the water into steam. We're going to make 1 of these. And the steam gets put into these steam engines, which will then give us electricity. So we're gonna make 2 of these. And that is the general makeup of what's gonna be, like what we need and what's going on. We also want to make 2 labs, and we are not gonna be making any more burner miners, that's for sure. So if you scroll over the boiler, you can see it consumes in the middle 6 water per second. The offshore pump produces 1200 per second. So we are not going to come anywhere near max capacity for the boiler. Ignore that. Because we made a lab, we now have access to our first science, automation science, which we just call red science. So you can see that this also, the boiler consumes 6 water per second, and at the bottom it outputs 60 steam per second. Ignore the temperature for now. That's something that happened, that it's not that important right now. It would become a lot more important if you purchase the DLC, the space age expansion. But for now, all we need to know is that we consume 6 water per second, which is basically nothing, and output 60 steam per second. So the steam engines consumes 30 steam per second. So for every 1 boiler, we need 2 steam engines. So if you make 2 steam engines, you want to make a boiler. Other things, because we are handcrafting right now and both of them need pipes, we are also going to need actual pipes. So it will consume all of the pipes in our inventory unless we have way more than these need for crafting. We're gonna go over to logistics, and we're gonna make at least one of these underground pipes that allows you to transfer pipes underground, just like it says. And we're just gonna make a couple, let's say 5 of the regular pipes. We're also going to right click a bunch of the power poles. We will need some of those, and periodically you can start using some of the resources that we've collected on transportation belts here. So we'll make a couple of those. And inserters. We are not going to use burner inserters at all. I do not use them. I do not recommend that you use them. We are not using them at all. Let's go do a collection run. We're going to collect these guys that have stopped moving. So there should be 50 coal each. And now that we have a lot of coal, I'm going to start dropping half stacks into these guys. So we have to babysit them a lot less. So from now on, anything that needs fuel, I'm going to control right click, and you can also drag. So we just put 25 into each of those and 25 into each of these. If you use the pipette, that also removes whatever's in your hand. So you can see that pipette hitting Q will give us a little bit of a back and forth. So if anytime you just see me drop something, like I don't have it in my hand anymore, that's because I hit Q. So let's hold control and drag this line. Let's go grab some copper and do the same thing. Again, we're going to be dropping half a stack, control right click into each of these that need them. So let's go. We have now created labs, we have created inserters, we have created belts, we have some small electric poles, we've got an offshore pump. Let's place the offshore pump here. And I did mention in the last video that I'm using this little starter blueprint to kind of get me set up so I can orient things properly. We also made one of these, so I'm going to pipette this one. And this is where our first boiler is going to go. So if you look at the boiler, the ends over here have an in and out arrow. So what this means is that it allows us to move products through the item. So even though we're producing 6 per second we're consuming 6 per second here and producing 1200 water from this guy, those can just be daisy chained through these. So you can see on the right hand side that it now has water 200 out of 200 because it has filled up. So with the steam engines, generally you would have 2 of them lined up like this. You can see the arrows are connected here as well. Those arrows, however, are grayed out whenever you scroll over them. You can see that these kind of don't gray out. So this one doesn't gray out, and the reason why this one is because it does not have anything in it. So this is the general setup that you're going to have. And I'm going to grab power poles and put them on my bars. I'm also going to grab the transporter and the inserter. I think I usually do the inserters there, and this is going to go, oops. My storage is going to go down here. Production down at the bottom, logistic transportation at the top, inserters here. However you want to do it is fine. Like, don't feel like you have to do it the way that I'm doing it. So this is kind of the basic setup for boilers. A lot of people will then take a pipe, connect here. So the reason for this is we need to connect all of these together with power. So this is a power pole. You can see the blue area is the part that it is both covering and receiving into. So we're gonna place one over there and one over here, and you can see that those power icons just went away. And this is the general idea. So I'm going to copy all of these and paste them here so that you can see the ghost version. And this is what a typical setup looks like. Me personally, I'm not a fan of this. I do mine different. So instead of doing it like this, I alternate every other one to be back one space. So what that allows me to do is I put the pipe here instead of here, and my power poles can then go in between the machines rather than like in between them here rather than in between them this way. So this is generally how mine would look up, and I can now get them closer together. like this. And the power poles just via the wire all connect right in the middle. This is my preferred method. However you feel like doing it is completely up to you. The downside is these do become really long, so if you do the first method that I showed you, it will be longer for the same amount that mine will have. The disadvantage for mine is that you can see that these are not the same elevation, so mine will be one farther this way. Yours will be many farther this way if you do it that way. Okay, so to generate some power, these guys need some fuel. So let's just we'll just control control left click, which will take a full stack or all of what we're holding and place it inside. So you can see minus 50, minus 50, and we are now producing power. If you click on the power poles, you can see the amount of production. This is the high-end capacity for what we are capable of producing, 3.6 megawatts. This is the amount that we are consuming at the moment, which is 0 because we don't have anything going. So we do have some belts, so yay, we finally get into some automation stuff. So I'm gonna, you need some room for inserters. So we are gonna place 2 of them here. I like to have them side by side, that way when you have a power pole, you can connect 2 of them together with, like, give 2 of them electricity with 1 single power pole. So we're gonna need a belt. These will grab fuel off the belt, and we're just gonna make a box back here and an inserter going from the box onto the belt, and we're gonna place a little bit of coal in here. So these need power. Well, where are we producing power? From here. Now don't mind me, I have a very specific starting point, so I'm gonna put a power pole down here. And another nice thing about this game is anytime you have buildings like this, you can just drag them. So that includes the power poles. So what this will do is this will put the power poles at the max possible distance. If I were to delete this one and drag it back this way, you can see that there's no longer a connection. It needs to be here. So let's get these guys some power. Now that the power poles here are connected to the steam engines, we need to put power here for these, and we need to get power over here for this guy. Yay, we are using inserters, and our first achievement. I have deleted all my achievements, so hopefully if you're playing along doing what I'm doing, a lot of these things will line up. The downside is that I cannot log into any other save file that has achievements enabled, or that will just enable all my achievements. But you know what, we'll try to get through the game before I do that. So I'm going to take these, and I just need to drag power all the way over here. So the reason why is because I kind of have this little blueprint set up. And again, the aim for this episode is to get some automation going. We need to get some science. So I'm going to right click the science twice. That's going to make 10 of these. You can do more if you want, but we need at least 10, and the 10 is going to get us what our next goal is. Automation. Yay. So is there anything else that we can do in between? Okay, so the general goal, all right, I said I was just gonna do like half stacks, but we ran out of coal, or basically ran out of coal. So we will be creating a starter base in the next couple of episodes. So what is a starter base? So the starter base will allow us to automate and put together some of the items that we are now manually grabbing. Oops, we need to enable automation. So you can click on it and start research, or you can double click. So we're gonna go with, there's a particular order that I want us to go in. We need automation, we need electric mining drill, we need logistics. So this is gonna give us underground belts so we can go under stuff, and splitters. We're gonna be running into biters soon, so we were probably gonna need some military and turrets. And I definitely need some lights because, as you can see, it gets a little bit dark. Again, it's darker for you than it is for me. Okay. I forget what else I was saying. So we need to get to automation. We need to be able to produce things. A lot of the extra materials that you have, we just need to start dumping into transportation belts. So we're going to get a lot of those going. We're going to need some inserters. We're going to need some boxes. Basically, all the wood that you have can go into power poles and boxes at this point. And we are inserting our science packs into the labs. So my goals in general, I would prefer it if most of the episodes are between 20 minutes and 45 minutes. I know that a lot of them will be at least an hour long. This video is already 31 minutes, so we're going to try to wrap this up as soon as we can. Oh, we researched something with automation. That is great. And we now have the ability to make assembling machine 1. Well, assembling machine 1 is going to allow us to craft things without the need to handcraft them. So I'm going to right click and remove a couple of these. I still want the boxes though. So I'm going to left click, left click, left click, left click. Now we'll do 5. That's 5. So this is going to make all the intermediates that we need. The copper cables and the electronic circuits. And we are going to set up some automation. At least hand fed for now. So I'm going to take the assembling machine 1 and put it on my bar. That way we can have faster access and we don't have to open up our inventory every time we want to make something. And then I'm going to queue up some stuff. Let's do some inserters because that's going to be the important part right now. So assembling machine 1, we're going to place this in a way that allows us to have an inserter. And another achievement. Fantastic. So we want to make automation science packs. We do not want to be handcrafting this. And you can see the ingredients for this are copper plates and iron gears. So once we click on that, you can, if you want, you can change recipes here. We're not going to worry about that because that's what we need. We do need some power in between those. So I'm going to remove that one and place power here. This is kind of our guide, and this will help me prevent some stuff coming over that we do not want. So one of the things you can see on the right hand side, the ingredients are iron plates and gear wheels, and that creates red science. So did I actually want to put this here? I don't think so. I think I wanted to put whatever, not a big deal. So I wanted to have one that I could point towards this, place a box, and we are going to put some copper plates in there. And then I need another box to come out from this one, and I'm going to grab an inserter of the box towards the machine, and I'm going to give this the recipe iron gear wheels. And then the iron gear wheels will need to go from this machine into this machine. We do not need to place them in storage first. They can just go, they can chain one into the other. Oh, and we need to put some, I'm like, what's going on here? And we need to put some iron plates into here so that we can get some gears. So if we open up the gears, let's see, actually, let's just open our inventory. What else can we be making? I'm not worried about the automating, the assembling machines yet. We can just handcraft a bunch of those as we need, but it would be nice if we could automate some transportation belts and some inserters. So the transportation belt is probably the next easiest because we are already making gears, so we can take those gears and put them into a machine that is making transportation belts. I think if we take this and drop it like this, we can actually make multiple uses from all of this stuff. So I can take from the iron here and also go into here, and there we go. So we can just place iron here, and that will feed the gears and the belts. And then the gears will also feed into the belts. So now all we need is somewhere to output them. Let's go up here. Nope. We will line it up with power. Go there. Awesome. We are now automating belts. We can control left click. What was the other one that we needed? We needed inserters. So if we look at the inserter, and we will make long-handed inserters later. I forget what it is. Was it automation? I think automation gave us, yeah, long-handed inserters. So those cross over longer paths, obviously. But we just want the yellow ones for now. We can handcraft some of the red ones. So what does inserter need? Inserter needs iron, needs gears, and it needs green circuits. Well, we have some gears here, and it doesn't look like... You know, we're just gonna snatch some from this anyway. So I'm gonna turn this one out here. And you don't have to necessarily put into a box. You could also put onto a belt. We're gonna put that guy on a belt and drag this belt over to here, leaving space for an inserter. We'll just get another power pole. Now we have the gears. Now we need electronic circuits. So how are we going to make electronic circuits? So let's place this here. We're going to place a box here because both of these are going to need iron plates. So this one needs iron plates and this one needs iron plates. So we're going to put some plates there and feed both of these. This one also needs power. This one also needs copper cables, so we're going to place this here, make copper cables, and insert into this. And then this will insert into this. So iron goes here. Let's go get some more iron. This one has now depleted, so we can remove this guy completely. We're going to fuel these guys up, go check the copper. And let's get some more coal. Very soon we will go check on these stone, but for now it's fine. And we just unlocked electric mining drill. Awesome. We need to make some of those too. Alright, back to what we were doing. We are automating our inserters. So this one needs, the copper cables need, where can I put this and get power? Down here. So the copper cables just need copper, so we can dump some copper into here. That will make the copper into copper cables. The cables feed the green circuits. The green circuits, the gears coming in, and the iron plates make our inserters, and inserters just need to go out into a box. That seems super crazy and complicated, but hey. This is our journey to automation. So the last thing that we want to do before we go is we're just going to place down an electric miner here, and we're going to place an electric miner down over here. So this is kind of what I needed to line up. Okay, so in the next episode we will be continuing on with our hand feeding of all of these materials. And look at that, we already have 8 made. See, this is our journey to automation. So we're going to start filling in. We're going to make a smelting stack over here, and we will start a starter base in episode 3. That sends us up this way. So look forward to that in the next episode. I'm going to end it here. That is it for this video, and thanks for watching.